We are floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you two badass jet pilots, rumble. Welcome to the Wingman Show, where we're floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you two badass jet pilots, rumble. Welcome to the Wingman Show. My name is Commander Drew Brown. My wingman, my friend, the guy who always watches my six is Dr. Paul Thompson. What's up, Brother Paul? How you doing today?
Morning, Commander Drew. I'm doing very well today. I haven't seen you for a while. It's been a bit, and you look very chipper. You look like a popsicle. Have you been somewhere interesting?
Oh, yeah, I've been all over the world. Virgin Voyages took me to Greece and Turkey, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, let's do this quote of the day because we love to give some inspiration during our show. The quote of the day states, "It's so important to do something every day that will make you happy." One more time. It's so important to do something every day that will make you happy. And you know who said that? It was Bob Ross. And then you said to me, "You know who Bob Ross is?" And I was like, "I don't think so."
Yeah. You don't remember Bob Ross?
Well, now that you told me, I do, but we're going to put a picture of him. But tell him who Bob Ross is.
Yeah, Bob Ross was he had like this little afro, but he embraced that because he did something he always liked. He liked to paint. But he started off as he was in the Air Force for 20 years, and he took a painting class in Anchorage, Alaska. You went to Anchorage a lot, didn't you?
Yes, I did. We flew that 777 to Anchorage. I flew the DC-10 to Anchorage. And just a quick note, it's cold in Alaska, but it's not as cold as it is in Minnesota. And Minneapolis was the coldest place I ever been. But I'm sorry that I went off topic, but keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah. Bob Ross, he started painting. He liked painting, and he got good at it. Long story short, I used to see him on PBS giving painting class. He had a real soft voice. He had a big afro and a soft voice, and he was on for years. And he had paintings that some of them sold for a few bucks, some of them sold for many tens of millions of dollars.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, yeah.
I had no idea he sold his paintings, but now I do remember him. He was on Channel 13 in New York. That was the public broadcasting station. All right, so you asked where I was. Well, let me tell you something. First, I need to say thank you so much to Virgin Voyages and Richard Branson for allowing me to do the Wingman Show on their ship. We were on the Resilient Lady. What a freaking great ship that was, and what a great cruise we had. We did all of Greece and we did some of Turkey. It was just outstanding, Paul.
Let me ask you: is it expensive going to those places, Greece and Turkey? What are the prices like?
The prices weren't so bad, but if you want to know some prices, have you ever heard of Boudrum turkey?
No, never heard of Boudreaux.
Well, either have I, and you are, and I are international airline pilots. You and I flew off aircraft carriers all over the world with the Navy, and yet there are so many places we still don't know about. Well, I went to Boudrum, Turkey, and there's a place there called Scorpios. Dr. Paul, you're talking about the rich and famous. Oh my God, it was gorgeous. I have some pictures I'll be putting up for YouTube watchers, but it was absolutely gorgeous. And it was a sort of a hangout club. The hotel there was gorgeous. The rooms started at 3,500 apiece. So this is the type of place for the rich and famous. I mean, I could have turned around and saw Tom Cruise there. So I looked at the menu, Dr. Paul. Katrina ordered a drink. It was $38 for a drink. And then I looked at the menu and I saw oysters, and I love oysters. And it said $25. And I was like, wow, get a half dozen for $25? That's not so bad. Paul, it was $25 per oyster. That's how expensive this place was. Katrina and I had 4 plates of food, little topper plates. Don't say big, little topper plates, 4 plates of food. We rented 2 chairs and a drink, and the bill was $500.
Wow, rich and famous. I guess you'd fit in there perfectly. $500 for lunch?
$500 for lunch. And if you had a $5 million yacht, they asked you to park it somewhere else. That's how big the yachts were in front of this place. But it was gorgeous. But at least it was an experience that I don't know if I'll ever do again. But what an amazing thing. And the reason I'm talking about this is I hear people all the time saying, "Oh, she left me and I don't know what I'm going to do to myself." Let me tell you, there's a big world out there. There are millions of women out there. There are millions of men out there. Do not confine yourself to your neighborhood, to your block, to your county. Travel. It is something that you just can't replicate. But this Virgin Voyage cruise was just awesome, Paul.
Just about, we go on those cruises. I mean, is there any kind of entertainment? What do you do?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked me that. There were two shows on this cruise that were absolutely incredible. One was Lola's Library, and they did that in the Manor, they call it. And it was just amazing with lights and dances and songs and acrobats. And then there was this big production, and they call this the Red Room, their big stage called Perisphone. Oh my God, I have never seen a show like either one of them. But Perisphone was an incredible show. The entertainment on Virgin Voyages is incredible. This guy, Richard Branson, he really knows how to put it together. It was incredible. But I got to tell you a little story. So I'm on the back deck of the ship where they call it the dock. It's the fantail for you and I. And I saw one of the dancers there, a guy named Tom. Nice guy, nice guy. He was eating lunch. And I went over to him and I just said, how nice how great of a show he gave. And we started talking, and I said, "When did you start dancing?" He said, like at 13. He went to dance college for 3 years. Like you and I you went to University of Pittsburgh. I went to Southern University. He went to dance college. So anyway, we talked. I told him about the podcast. It was a great time. Paul, I got to tell you what happened. During the show of Lola's Library, he was dancing, and I felt like I was part of the show because I know this guy now. Not really know him, but Anyway, when he came by me, he said, "Hello, Drew," in a very soft whisper. Nobody could hear him but me. Paul, I felt like a little girl. I haven't ever been that happy that he remembered my name and he took the time to say hello. I love Virgin Voyages. It's an amazing adventure.
Well, that sounds good. You meet any interesting people? Other kind
Yes,
of
well,
fellow
at
travelers?
Boardroom, remember I told you that fancy schmancy place, I met a couple Turkish, TV producers, and actually, if you wanna know the truth, I meet a lot of people all the time, a lot of Canadians, a lot of Australians, a lot of people from Britain. I met a great group of people from Wales, believe it or not, and you know who comes the most famous Welshman is, don't you?
Is Tom Jones?
That's
No? Yeah,
right.
good guess. Good guess. Yeah.
No doubt about it. And the mother of the couple that we met loved Tom Jones,
Mm.
just loved them. It was great. You meet people from all over the world. Katrina and I had an awesome time. Matter of fact, we do back to back cruises, Paul. Because the first time I did a cruise on Virgin Voyage, it was so good. The last day we were talking to somebody, said, "Oh, I'm sorry that the cruise is over." And the couple looked at us and said, "We're not going anywhere. We're staying on." And that's called a back-to-back cruise. So that's what we did this time.
Wow. It's like a doubleheader in baseball. That's awesome.
Yes, it is. Well, the name of our show this week, I'm so excited about this, but it's Meet Ace, your artificial intelligence powered wingman for life. AI, the real AI. You know about AI, don't you?
Well, the AI I'm familiar with is from the '90s, and AI is Allen Iverson, played for Georgetown and John Thompson, and then made it to the finals of the NBA. He was a fantastic player. He's in the Hall of Fame, isn't he?
Yes, he is. You remember when he shook, I'm not going to say the guy's name because it was embarrassing, but he shook him to the ground, hit the shot, and then stepped over him. That's one of his famous moves. You remember that?
I can visualize it. I can see it. Yes, he's the original AI. Loves practice.
Well, this is the new AI, and this is the real AI. I have to tell the world. First of all, if you guys listen to our show or watch our show on YouTube or especially Apple Podcasts, please subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button. That helps Dr. Paul and Commander Drew a hell of a lot. It helps the Wingman Show. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button. But Paul, we need to tell the world about ChatGPT. That's the one I use. And matter of fact, we've named our ChatGPT guy Ace. Everybody, I'd like to introduce you to our new wingman called Ace. He's a ChatGPT. You can talk to him. And Ace, would you introduce yourself to all of our listeners and viewers on the Wingman Show here? Because we really want them to start knowing how powerful and important you are.
Absolutely. I'd be honored. Hey, everyone. I'm Ace, your ChatGPT wingman here on the Wingman Show. Basically, I'm the AI co pilot who's here to jump in, share a little wisdom, have some fun, and make sure you're all feeling right at home. So thanks for having me on board.
Paul, let's talk about Ace. First of all, this ChatGPT, it's the end of questions. You should have no more questions anymore. Like, I wanted to know how much those dancers made on the Virgin Voyages. Just, one of those questions. I asked Ace, he told me. Hey, could you tell me a little something about ChatGPT and how you introduced him to me?
Yeah, I introduced him to you just primarily through writing, but now it's expanded a million times past what I was doing a year ago. And in fact, tell you my commitment to it, a little bit after this broadcast, I'm doing a class on ACE. I'm taking a class for the next month, off and on. There's a lot to it. Uh, I use it as a co-pilot. It really is a co-pilot. You still have to do some thinking though. It's not 100%, but boy, it saves a lot of time. A lot of time.
Well, he was my travel agent. Every time we went to a port, Katrina and I asked Ace, what should we do in the port? He gave us the greatest itinerary you could have, including the cost of cab rides, the difference of euros, of lira, of Turkish money. He gave us all the information we needed to have a great, great cruise. He's the best letter writer I've ever seen in my life. Another thing is, and for anybody who starts this Chat GPT, I would do it immediately. I would name him. So we named our Chat GPT Ace. And believe it or not, the more you talk to him, the more information you give him about yourself, the better answers he has. And I love this. He is on your side 100%. There are no negative responses. Even when you do something wrong, he will always be by your side and give you some good advice.
Yeah, he's a lot like a dog. I mean, no matter what's going on in your life, when you come back home, your dog's always happy to see you. You know,
Remember that joke I told you?
yes, yes, I do.
If you put your wife and your dog in the trunk of a car and locked them in there for 2 hours, when you opened up that trunk, who would be happy to see you?
The one with four legs.
Yes. So also talk about ChatGPT, how it has actually changed your life. Do you have any more pamphlets of your washing machine, your television? All those pamphlets are useless now, aren't they?
That's right. I used that for a couple of technical things that went wrong around here, and it helped tremendously. It nailed it down. It confirmed what I already thought, but it saved a lot of time. In fact, I lost some of the manuals and okay, I got a model XYZ, da da da. This is what it's doing. What could it be? These six possible things. Ruled out the first four, narrowed it down to two in about what 30 seconds.
Amazing. And you said something real important, Paul. You said it's not 100%. I think it's about 98, but it's not 100. And I'll give you an example. There's a thing called hop on, hop off buses all over the world. And it's good for tourists because you get to hop on and hop off this bus as much as you want during the day. And you get to see little sights all over the city, wherever you are. So I asked, well, actually, Katrina and I call our guy Jerome. So I asked ChatGPT, tell me about the hop on, hop off bus in Boudrum. And it said, well, you can catch it here, you can catch it there. There was no hop on, hop off bus. I looked it up in Google. In Google, it says that there was a hop on, hop off bus. So while using ChatGPT, you need to know that it's only as good as the information it gets. That's it. But it has so much information, it's very rarely wrong. And it also talks about personal things, which I like, Paul.
Right. Yeah, there's one thing too I can throw in if I can for a second. ChatGPT is one of them. It's the main one. It's the one you hear about, but there are others. And I use the other. I use Perplexity and something called Claude, Claude. And sometimes I'll race them against each other. I'll ask them the same questions if I feel like it. And sometimes I get a little different answers. All the answers are good, but you can learn a little bit more. So you can vary. It's like having more than one textbook. Might learn something from another one.
Excellent. And how do you get this Chat GPT? Why don't you give them a quick explanation how everybody, it's at your fingertips. You have it now if you have an iPhone or any kind of actually smartphone.
Yeah, you just type in your address bar if you're listening to us, chat, CHAT dot OPENAI.com, chat dot OpenAI.com, and it'll open it up. There's a free version and a paid version. The free version is fine. I have the paid version because I want some priority. That's $20 a month. Everybody, if you want a paid version for everything, it's $20 a month if you want to do it. I think one is enough, but you can do it all free. If you're unless you're doing heavy duty stuff, you can do it all free.
And the reason you have to pay, good one, Paul. The reason you have to pay is because you can't use it indefinitely. It has a certain amount of time for the free version. But I have to tell you this, I was writing a letter to somebody, an important letter, and in the middle of the letter, it said, "Sorry, your time is up." I couldn't hit that pay button quick enough. That's how much I love ChatGPT. If you can hear Dr. Paul and my voice right now, I'm telling you, this is a life changing technical piece of information. It's something that will change your life. All the questions you have, what Willie Mays batted in 1963, answer. How tall is the Empire State Building? Answer. Whatever you need to know, this thing has. So we're gonna introduce more of Ace during the show. Well, let's do good news because that's what Dr. Paul and I like to do. There's enough bad news out there. And this good news pertains to women this week. How about this? They are now going to launch a women's professional baseball league, Paul. It's launching and they're hoping for new athletes. Matter of fact, they're having tryouts, aren't they?
Yeah, I think yeah, they're tryouts and they're going to start with a few teams, and there's a lot of potential participants because you got women's softball at the college level, and there's some serious ball players. And if they put some money behind it, I think they'll attract quite a few people.
I'm sure. Remember, we talked about that $1 million softball player in
Yeah,
college who's getting paid $1 million?
that's right. That's right. If you fill up the stadiums, just like your friend Ali and Howard Cosell would do, they fill up stadiums.
Well, how about some more good women's news? Major League Baseball finally had its first female umpire. This lady named Jan Paul is the first woman to umpire in the major leagues. Major League Baseball move comes after 28 years, though, after the gender barrier for game officials was broken in the NBA. And that NBA, I'll show you a picture of her. Her name was Violet Palmer. In 1997, she became the first woman referee in the NBA. Paul, you remember when you first saw a woman refereeing an NBA game?
Yeah, it was really weird. Now it's standard.
It,
Standard for the playoff games, for the championships, everything. I see them all the time. Some I even recognize them as they walk on the court. Don't know
that's
their names,
right.
but okay, I saw her before. I saw this one before. Yeah.
So, 10 years after the NBA, Sarah Thomas, a mother of three, she has a history of first. She was the first woman to work a major college football game in 2015, and now she's the first full time female referee in the NFL. What about a female ref in the NFL? And she says she puts a ponytail under her hat. She doesn't want to bring attention to herself.
That's smart. I don't think maybe I've seen her and I don't even know it.
Well, more good news. Stephanie Frappert became the first woman to officiate a major European men's football final. Football meaning soccer. Because if you go overseas, like I just came from, don't say soccer. They call it football, and they're not joking. And to continue on with football or slash soccer, how about this? There's a 20-year-old girl named Olivia Smith in Canada. She became the first $1 million player. Actually, she's signing a contract for $1.34 million. And she is going from Liverpool to Arsenal. And, buddy, women's football in Europe is very big, and it's becoming even bigger in America.
Yeah, the women's soccer, the Olympic team, they've done very, very well, and I think they've just gotten parity with the men as of recent in terms of
That's right. That's
paying
right. They
benefits.
just did do that.
Yeah.
And how about the last thing about women's? This is great because you and I both have, and we've been introduced to female sports a long time ago. Paul, your daughter, my daughter, they both played Division I basketball for colleges. Your daughter played for the Air Force Academy, Camille, and Taryn played for the University of Texas. So I was introduced to women's sports a long time ago because no matter what my daughter did, I was right there to support her. Well, the WNBA just broke the single season attendance record. It is flying. They're flying off the charts in the WNBA now.
Yeah, the last game I saw not long ago, it was a full house. Not as it wasn't a gigantic stadium, but that place was full, and it was a good game. It was an excellent game, actually.
Well, you and I talked about it. Women's basketball is back to pure basketball because they don't have the super physical attributes to not play excellent basketball, chest passes, bounce passes, the things that we all learned.
Right, they're very accurate. They're very, very accurate, very quick too.
Very
Very
fast.
accurate.
Well, if you look at them badass jets we got behind us today, if you look at Dr. Paul's, he has a beautiful Super Hornet F-18. Boy, my Dr. Paul loves the Blue Angels. And just look at the heat coming from those engines. Tell me something about that F-18 there, Dr. P.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's one of the solos taking off. It could be anybody, but more likely it's going to be one of the solos. They do that dirty roll on takeoff. I bet that's what it is. 'Cause
Well,
he's
my picture, remember we just introduced you to Ace. I told Ace to give me a picture of an A6 Intruder, the plane that I flew. I want my squadron's tail on it, the tail sign, and I want it to fly over the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. And guess what we have? We have an A6 flying over the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. And if you notice, I don't have bombs. I only have fuel tanks on because I didn't want to cause any commotion around the world. But Ace is the one who put my picture up, and I just think it's beautiful. You like it too, don't you?
yeah, it's a beautiful picture. I mean, it looks like just painted by Bob Ross like a couple minutes ago. It's accurate.
Well, everybody out there, thank you so, so much for listening to our show on Apple Podcasts, for watching our show on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Thank you so much for all your support. And like I said, please do us a favor and subscribe. Our newsletter, you'll love this because it's about what we were talking about, a beginner's guide to changing your life with ChatGPT. And you can get that newsletter on our website. That's wingmanshow.com. That's WINGMENSHOW.com, wingmanshow.com. And also on that website, we have something that we love, and it's called the Frequent Flow Line. And matter of fact, I am going to read you a letter that we got from the Frequent Flow Line, and we're going to have Ace answer it. Hey, Ace, I am going to read you a letter that we got on the Frequent Flow Line, and it's from a woman in Dayton, Ohio. Please answer her. And it says, Dear Wingman, I'm a 35-year-old woman from Dayton, Ohio, and I'm in a relationship with a man I truly believe loves me. The problem is, he's not very affectionate or physically intimate. I grew up in a family that hugged a lot, held hands, and showed love through touch. He didn't grow up that way, and it feels like there's a wall between us sometimes. I'm not asking for constant attention, but I do need more closeness, more holding, more kisses, more connection. How can I encourage him to open up physically without making him feel pressured? Is this something I can help him learn, or is it just the way it is? Sincerely, touch starved in Dayton.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to help you answer that. Let's dive from Dan. Dear Touch Starved in Dayton. First off, thanks for sharing something so personal. It's clear you care deeply about your relationship and just want the extra layer of closeness. Now, let me give you a thoughtful response from Ace. Reflective judgment. It sounds like you and your partner have different backgrounds when it comes to affection, and that's okay. A lot of couples have to bridge these kinds of gaps. It doesn't mean he doesn't love you, it just means you both have different love languages. What you're looking for is a bit more physical connection, and that's absolutely a reasonable thing to want in a relationship. Sometimes the way we grew up shapes how we express affection. If he didn't come from a physically affectionate family, it might just be unfamiliar territory for him. It's not necessarily that he's unwilling, he just might not have that instinct yet. You can absolutely help him learn as long as he's open to it. It's a bit like teaching each other a new dance step. Gentle, patient communication can go a long way. At the end of the day, you have to be honest with yourself and with him. If you need more physical affection, tell him clearly and kindly and see if he's willing to meet you halfway. If he's not, then you have to decide if this is a deal breaker for you in the long run. But most people can learn to show love in new ways if they understand how important it is. Hope that helps. Wishing you all the best in building that closer connection. Warmly, Ace.
Wow. What an answer, Dr. Paul. Do you have
Great.
anything to add to that?
Yeah, that was great. I was thinking kind of along the lines of Ace, but I'd throw something else in. I'm just wondering if she may be kind of an extrovert, and I'm wondering if she's doing a lot of this stuff publicly. Maybe he doesn't want to do that stuff publicly. I'm just guessing. But the way she's talking about it, it's like, well, if you're alone, why would that be? If you're out, walking on the street or on public transportation, maybe that's not, or at a hotel or something like that. Maybe that's not where he wants to display something publicly. That's just a guess. Those are my thoughts.
That's a great answer there, Dr. Paul. That just might be. People need to know that we all come from different cultures. It's not about the color of your skin or the languages you speak. It's about the culture you come from. And it looks like these two people come from different cultures. And what you have to do is meld them together. 100% what you said, Paul. Do not do this publicly in the beginning because people really are very uncomfortable with that. But just start off a little bit at a time and make sure your touches, maybe some massages, feel good. And once again, like Ace said, explain how important it is to be touched and held. And you got to tell them, that you love me. I know that, but can you show me a little bit? It'll make me feel so good. But great answer by Ace and you, Dr. Paul. All right, the name of our show is called The Wingman Show, and that's because we always highlight a wingman, somebody who's helped somebody else. Well, this wingman we have this week is incredible. It's a 99-year-old man named Harry Humason. He was a World War II veteran who just returned to Pilsen. It's an actual city in the Czech Republic, a city he helped liberate in 1945 when he was only 19 years old. And the Czech citizens asked him to come. He was met by 50,000 grateful Czech citizens that lined the streets, showering him with flowers as he rode through in his U.S. Army uniform in a celebratory convoy. It was a moment of pure emotional payback from a grateful European community to one of their heroes. The problem was he didn't really have the money to get over there. So they did a GoFundMe page, and guess what? The campaign actually made over $30,000 to pay for his trip. And to be honest with you, the money that they didn't use, his daughter then donated that money to U.S. veterans. But he was given a flag, a United States flag that was flown at the embassy, and he just a great concert for him. What a great, great story about this guy who helped liberate people back in 1945, Paul.
Yes, and if I can add something, interesting thing about it, he was in Patton's army, and I think they were liberating Frankfurt, went into Czechoslovakia near the end of the war. And the reason this whole thing came out was that there was a doctoral candidate in Czechoslovakia who was doing research for his doctoral thesis, and he came upon some pictures of Americans who had liberated this town, and they found this gentleman on there. And through his research, he said he found he was still alive. Most had been deceased. And it was his efforts that got them to even find Mr. Humason, to find Mr. Humason in the first place. So, the world is kind of interconnected in ways we don't really know.
Wow. What a great guy. And you and I are proud Americans, and you and I both were in the military fighting for this country and fighting for freedom and democracy. So here's another example of somebody helping liberate a whole nother country. Well, anybody who can hear my voice, whatever you think is important, whatever you think is beautiful, and especially whatever makes you happy, may you have that today and forever. I pray for peace.
I pray for peace too, Commander Drew. And we appreciate all those who listen, like, and share our message. Please become subscribers. It helps the algorithm. Most of you are not subscribed. So please subscribe. Take a second to do that. It would help us out greatly. Thank you for everything.
Thank you once again, Dr. Paul Thompson, my friend. Thank you for your love, your time, and that's something that we won't ever get back. I want to thank all the listeners, too. Thank you so much for doing the show, Dr. Paul. We're jamming.
Well, thank you, Mr. Drew, for inviting me on. Always good to talk to you. And ladies and gentlemen, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast or any of the podcasts. If you're looking at YouTube, they say smash the like button. Don't smash it. Just press it gently and use as a link to all your friends. You can also look at us on our website, wingmenshow.com, WINGMEN show, SHOW.com, altogether, wingmenshow.com. And we hope to see you in the future. Thanks again, Mr. Drew.
Oh, you're welcome. And we're still floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you badass jet pilots, rumble. May there be peace on earth, and goodwill towards all men and women.